The Thanksgiving holiday is widely known as a day of warm family gatherings, long weekend getaways, and most fundamentally, a reckoning of faith and goodwill. While in America it falls on the fourth Thursday of November, the Armenia Fund for 27 years has Armenianized, in fact, universalized, that rich tradition through the broadcast of its Thanksgiving Day telethons. And here we are again. While the current landscape of the Republic of Armenia may not be able to contain all of the hopes and dreams and the rightful expectations of its own and the world's 10 million Armenian population, the Armenia Fund perhaps can do so because it is a space without limitations for all Armenians. The Armenia Fund was born out of necessity more than 30 years ago on the heels of the devastating Spitak earthquake and in the midst of the First Karabakh War. The fund was among the first responders to the generational hardships and triumphs stemming from those events. But despite the weight and darkness of those long ago days, they also were days of light and energy because they ushered in an era marked by the unprecedented outpouring of the collective commitment and charity of the Armenian people. The hyphens between American Armenian, Russian Armenian, Argentinian Armenian, French Armenian, Lebanese Armenian, Iranian Armenian, Hayastansi Armenian, and so many other qualifiers. They all seem to have disappeared in those better days. That, in a nutshell, is the overarching objective of the Armenia Fund, to create and generate a consensus of ideas and actions where everyone involved, both those who give and those who receive, are nothing other than Armenian. Since those early days of despair giving way to days of hope, we and the world around us have changed, and on a collective level, not necessarily for the better. Yes, we have more individual affluence and prosperity. Yes, we have more individual achievement and advancement. Yes, we have more individual experience and enlightenment, perhaps. Yes, we have more individual access and entry to once unapproachable places and people. And that's all fine and wonderful. I think, though, that it's probably a little bit more helpful today if we try to remember and act according to the life lessons of our grandparents and great-grandparents' generations, who both in the diaspora and in Armenia did so much with so much less. Now that the world has changed and we have so much more, let's all try to do more. So today, just give. If you haven't given before, that's okay. Give now. And if you've given before, you've already exercised your muscle of giving, and so it'll probably come easier to you today. In closing on this day of thanks, let's remember those Armenians who gave the supreme sacrifice of blood and family, of hearth and home, and of their homeland itself. Many of the Armenia Fund's initiatives are aimed to do exactly the right thing, to return to displaced Artsaksis a semblance of a normal life with housing grants, cultural continuity programs, education, and healthcare assistance in Armenia. In fact, these initiatives aim to return to Artsaksis the most important thing of all, a measure of dignity itself. That is reason enough for you to give all you can today. Finally, no Thanksgiving Day is complete without a prayer for the less fortunate than we. So let us pray for the safe return of Artsak's political hostages and prisoners of war, and for the return of all Artsaksis to the Republic of Artsakh. Thank you.